back on the bottom end of the coast. Port Douglas all the way up there. But we didn't stop to talk about the coast today, Pauline. Firstly, who's Pauline? Everybody's been asking this question. We're addressing Pauline Hanson of One Nation, Queensland Senator. Someone with responsibility in Queensland and the Commonwealth of Australia. Someone with legal responsibility in the very Parliament as a Senator. So we address Pauline very specifically. This is not a TV show where people believe that they can sit there and be spectators and stuff, right? You can't. Your country's going into demise and you have to change. You have to get off your knees and your hands and stop being subordinate to these people and step on up to them. Otherwise it doesn't change. You have to change your way of life, everybody. You can't sit there being a spectator expecting the world to change for a spectator. It doesn't work like that. You need to step up to the plate. And I think you can do it. Which is why we address Pauline. When we told Pauline to belt up last time, well this time we address why the Albo government might want to change the Family Law Act. So, there you go, Pauline. Quick and Karen said that the father was the owner of the child at the mother's breast. At the mother's breast, Pauline. This would mean that the child is party to the father's family estate by name, Pauline. And then you come along as ward masters or nanny government of the poor, the paupers, those pauperisms, Pauline, those pauperisms, right? You come along and say, oh, we need to nanny the pauperisms, they're all poor. Please, yeah, can I have some more? Sure, we'll take away your right to be a father. We'll give the mother all the rights. We'll give the police all the ability to fuck over fathers. That's what you did, Pauline. You did that 40 years ago in the Family Law Act 1975 when you took the right of the father away from the family estate and treated them like wards of the state. So this is where you, as fathers of your children all across this country, and I'm gobsmacked as to why over the last 15 years single fathers haven't clicked to what I have said. They are treating you like slaves. They are treating you like literal slaves under Roman slave law, wherein the father gets no rights. Gets no rights. Isn't that right, Pauline? And you're further impacting those rights right now under the Family Law Act 1975 changes that you wish to make. I wonder why you'd want to make those changes. Might it have something to do with a line of authority you haven't got? And might it have something to do with you needing those ignoramuses to sign up to the line of authority you are, that you haven't got in the Constitution? Maybe. You need to keep them dumb. What if they're not dumb anymore, Pauline? What if they've had enough? What if they've had enough of your concrete Bunnings, Repco, fucking super cheap Autobahn complexes in their 15-minute city models? What if everyone's had enough of being stung by the police over and over and over and over and over and over again, Pauline? Well, what if everyone's had enough of you meddling in their families and changing the cost of their living standards, Pauline? Would it take for them to burn your home down, Pauline, to make you realise? Oh, I don't think so. It might take someone else in that parliament like Albo to realise, pull his fucking head in for once. But we see how tired and abused you look, Pauline. You look abused in the parliament with your tired eyes, like you haven't slept You look like you're working too hard, Pauline. And that's them. That's them again, Pauline, causing this upon you. While in the background, in the Executive Council, they make decisions that you in the Senate or the House of Representatives can't change, Pauline. And what if the country's had enough? We put you through a referendum and said no. And then Dutton wants to go and try again after 70% of the country said no. It demonstrates you have a modus operandi that isn't for the people. Right? And the people, they haven't clicked on yet as to their need to get off their own asses to fix this. They're expecting some magical switch to occur when Israel's being shat on by the greater Middle East after it's created this problem since 1938. 1938, Pauline. You treat us like simpletons and it's going to stop. And all you fathers out there, all you heads of your households, if you don't realise what I'm saying in this video, your country is lost. You are no longer the houses of the men that defended this land as light horsemen. You are no longer defenders of the very faith that founded your constitution. You are lost because you will not change you. You will not change the way you see this world. You will not look at all the concrete facilities they've put up in the last 15 years. You will not look at Bunnings checking your receipts illegally after you've made a purchase. You will not look at Kmart checking your receipts illegally after you've made a purchase. You will not look at Coles removing 15 items or less checkouts. And now in Port Douglas, there is no checkout. It's all self-service. Even the long conveyor belt aisle checkouts are self-service. There is no checkout assistant in Port Douglas, Pauline. Coles used to hire all our children. Who hires our children today, Pauline? Who hires the children that you want to manipulate the parenthood of in the Family Law Act? It's certainly not Coles in Port Douglas, Pauline. They don't hire hardly anybody to do all of their checkouts because we're their staff now, Pauline. We have to take our goods back to our car with no bags, Pauline. I just shopped in a clothing store and was given all my clothes and a receipt and no bag to take them back into my car, Pauline. How do you keep your clothes clean from all the other things you're carrying shopping if these companies refuse to service you with a simple bag, Pauline? And that's where Coles have got to. Do everything yourself. You're their staff now, Pauline. You're the one that has to operate the checkout. You're the one that has to work out how to use the cash register. And I watched a lady from the Netherlands trying to remove something off the cash register that she'd scanned twice by accident and had to wait 20 minutes for a staff member to fumble around with the keys and a card to log into a computer to remove an item. And while he was doing that, I said, now that you've got no checkout staff, has theft in your store increased? And he turned around and went, oh, by 20%, Pauline, by 20%. So merely having nobody at the checkout has allowed all these tourists just to walk out of the Coles in Port Douglas with food and drink and not pay for it, Pauline. And that's the system you want to set up. They don't hire our children, and Albo wants to impact the family estate even more to make it poor. Make it poor, Pauline. He's the man making everyone in this country poor. He's the one working for the people that said, you'll own nothing. He's the one that works for the same people that Justin Trudeau works for. You think we're idiots, Pauline. You think we're stupid. Time to wake up. Time to realise this country's fast waking up to the bullshit you brought here and the problems you create here, Pauline. We ain't the problem. You are.